Tonight, you will check the baby monitor one last time. Set it on the nightstand. Pull the door halfway closed. Walk down the hall and go to sleep in a separate room. You will not think twice about it. Your ancestor would have found that completely terrifying. Not because they were overprotective, not because they did not trust their instincts, but because for 100,000 years of human history, a baby sleeping alone, in the dark, separated from its mother, was a baby that did not make it to morning. No crib, no monitor, no locked door between that child and everything outside that could smell a newborn. Just a mother, her body, and an instinct so powerful, so precise, that it kept the most helpless creature on earth alive without a single piece of technology. Here is the thing nobody tells you about ancient parenting. It was not primitive. It was not careless. It was extraordinary. And some of what those parents did, without books, without doctors, without any of it, we are only now beginning to understand. Part 1. The body was the technology. The first thing ancient parents had that we have almost forgotten was each other. For nearly all of human history, a baby was never alone. Ever. Not for a minute, not for a second. Mothers carried their infants skin to skin, not occasionally, constantly. For the first months of life, a baby's body was pressed against a warm human body for most of the day and night. And this was not a parenting choice. This was survival science. A newborn human cannot regulate its own body temperature. It cannot calm its own nervous system. It cannot even breathe as steadily without a warm body nearby. Researchers studying indigenous communities found something remarkable. Babies who were carried constantly, who slept against their mother's chest, had lower cortisol levels, steadier heart rates, and cried significantly less than babies left alone. The ancient mother's body was not just comfort. It was the technology keeping that baby alive. Part 2. It takes a village, and they meant it. Here is something that will change how you think about parenting. In ancient human communities, raising a child was never the job of two people. It was the job of everyone. Anthropologists call this alloparenting, from the Greek word allos, meaning other. Grandmothers, aunts, older children, unrelated adults in the group. All of them actively involved in feeding, carrying, watching, soothing every single child in the community. In fact, researchers have found that in hunter-gatherer societies, a mother spends as little as half her time as the primary caregiver for her own infant. The rest of the time, someone else was holding that baby. This is not because ancient mothers were less devoted. It is because humans evolved to raise children together. The isolation of modern parenting, one or two adults, one house, one child, is one of the most radical experiments in human history. And we started it about 5 minutes ago. Part 3. Reading the baby. Ancient parents had no books, no sleep training methods, no pediatric guidelines, no apps telling them if the cry meant hunger or gas or exhaustion. What they had was observations so precise, so constant, that they developed an understanding of infant communication that most modern parents never reach. Studies of traditional communities found something fascinating. Mothers who carried their babies constantly could identify and respond to a feeding cue before the baby even began to cry. Before the cry. They had learned the micro-expressions, the small movements, the subtle shifts in breathing that said, "I need something," 3 minutes before the need became urgent. In the modern world, we talk about babies crying as the primary form of communication. For ancient parents, crying was already a late signal, a last resort. They had been listening long before it got that far. Part 4. Here's what I find most remarkable about all of this. Ancient parents were not doing more. They were not working harder. They were simply present. Not distracted by a screen while their baby played on the floor. Not half listening through a monitor from another room. Just there. Constantly. Completely. There is a concept in attachment research called serve and return. The idea that every time an infant reaches out, with a sound, a look, a gesture, and a caregiver responds, a neural connection is made in that baby's brain. Those connections build the architecture of a human mind. Ancient parents were doing serve and return, all day, all night, without knowing the science behind it, because they had no other option. The baby was right there, on their body, always. And in that closeness, in that total, unavoidable presence, they were building brains. Ancient humans kept their children alive without any of the things we consider essential. No monitors. No pediatricians. No sleep schedules. No baby gates or car seats or temperature-controlled rooms. What they had instead was simpler, and in some ways, harder. They stayed close. They paid attention. They shared the weight of it with everyone around them. Modern parenting has given us safety and science and tools that have saved countless lives. But somewhere in all of it, we may have also drifted from something older. Something that does not require any technology at all. Just presence. Just attention. Just the warmth of another human body saying, I am here. You are not alone.